Come with me, not through space, but through time, back over 5,000 years to ancient Mesopotamia. Here the Sumerians built the first cities, invented writing, and began humanity's quest to understand the cosmos. Their world is a puzzle full of mysteries waiting to be unraveled. Today, we'll explore 6 of the greatest enigmas of Sumer: their origins, the birth of cities, writing, bureaucracy, trade, and their decline. We'll examine the evidence, the theories, and the questions that still echo through history. Let's begin our journey into the heart of civilization. Where did the Sumerians come from? Their language, Sumerian, is a true mystery, an orphan with no known relatives. Unlike English or Spanish, Sumerian stands alone, appearing suddenly in the archaeological record. Without a Rosetta Stone, linguists are left guessing about its origins. So, we turn to ancient DNA for clues. The genetic evidence reveals a mosaic of peoples: farmers, hunter-gatherers, and mountain folk, mixing in Mesopotamia for millennia. The Sumerians likely emerged from this blend, not as invaders, but as locals evolving together. Yet the story isn't complete. Iraq's climate destroys DNA, leaving us with only fragments. Still, there's no sign of a dramatic migration. Sumerian culture seems homegrown. The Ubaid culture, ancestors of the Sumerians, had already been building towns and temples for centuries. Mesopotamia was a crossroads, so outside influences can't be ruled out. Perhaps a small group brought the language, or it evolved locally, shaped by contact with neighbors. The truth remains elusive, limited by the evidence we have. Each new DNA discovery is a step closer, but for now, Sumerian remains a beautiful enigma. Their language is a voice from the deep past, one we can hear, but whose origins are still hidden. The search continues as we piece together the story of the world's first civilization. The Sumerians remind us, some mysteries endure. Imagine Uruk, a small village exploding into the world's first metropolis 6,000 years ago. This Uruk expansion was a revolution. Agriculture, irrigation, and surplus food fueled a new urban society. People became priests, artisans, and bureaucrats, while society stratified and temples dominated city life. Temples weren't just for worship. They were economic engines, storehouses, and administrative centers. Mass-produced beveled rim bowls, used to pay workers in grain or beer, show the rise of standardization. Uruk's influence spread far beyond its walls. Pottery, seals, and architecture appeared across the region. Was this an empire? Not quite. Some sites look like colonies, others blend local and Uruk traditions. It was more cultural influence than conquest, like a powerful brand spreading innovations. Local elites adopted Uruk's systems to boost their own power. The Uruk brand was administration, mass production, and religious ideology. This was the birth of a new system: interconnected settlements bound by trade and shared culture. Uruk was the creative heart, radiating change across the ancient world. Humanity crossed a threshold, leaving villages behind for the age of the city. The city became the engine of civilization. The Uruk model shaped the world for millennia. The age of cities had begun. How do you capture a thought? The Sumerians pioneered the answer writing. It began with simple clay tokens, each shape representing a good, like sheep or oil. To secure records, tokens were sealed in clay envelopes with impressions pressed on the outside. Then came a breakthrough. Why not just use the impressions? Tablets replaced tokens and pictographs replaced objects. Scribes used reeds to draw stylized signs. Soon, these evolved into wedge-shaped cuneiform. The link between sign and object faded. Writing became abstract, flexible, and powerful. Some argue this story is too neat. Tokens persisted, perhaps for ritual or education. But the real leap was the rebus principle, using pictures for sounds, unlocking the ability to write names and ideas. The oldest tablets are lists of goods, but writing quickly blossomed into law codes, hymns, and epic tales. Writing was born from necessity, but it became the tool for recording all of human experience. The Sumerians gave us the blueprint for civilization's memory. Their script outlived their cities, echoing through history. From tokens to cuneiform, they changed the world. The written word began here, and nothing would ever be the same. The Sumerians didn't just invent cities and writing, they invented bureaucracy. Clay tablets were their hard drives, recording everything from grain receipts to court judgments. Hundreds of thousands survive, giving us an unparalleled look at daily life. Cylinder seals acted as signatures, unique and hard to forge. Scribes, trained in tablet schools called Aduba, formed the backbone of this system. Their education was rigorous, learning hundreds of signs, copying texts, and solving math problems. These scribes became the managers, accountants, and lawyers of their world. The bureaucracy enabled large-scale planning, contracts, and justice. It was the invisible scaffolding of Sumerian civilization. Without it, cities couldn't function. The Sumerians' administrative genius shaped the ancient world. Their system endures in every ledger and law code today. Bureaucracy was their greatest, if least glamorous, legacy. All civilizations fall, but Sumer's decline was slow, driven by forces both natural and human-made. Their irrigation genius brought prosperity, but also salt. Year after year, it poisoned the soil. Wheat gave way to barley, but yields kept dropping. The land grew fragile, vulnerable to disaster. Then came a global drought, the 4.2 kilo-year event, cutting river flows and devastating crops. Famine and unrest followed, cities emptied, and chaos reigned. The Akkadian Empire collapsed and nomads invaded. It wasn't just salt or drought, but both, a chronic weakness met by a sudden crisis. Different regions suffered differently, but the old Sumerian world fractured. Their story is a warning. Civilizations are complex, and collapse is rarely simple. Environmental mismanagement and climate shocks can topple even the mightiest. Sumer's fall echoes through history, a lesson in ambition, fragility, and fate. Their legacy survived, but their world was lost. The cradle of civilization became a cautionary tale. The end was not a single event, but a fatal convergence. Sumer was no island. Its land was rich in crops, but poor in resources. To build and thrive, the Sumerians traded far and wide. Their tablets mention Dilmun, Bahrain, Megan, Oman, and mysterious Meluha, likely the Indus Valley. Archaeology confirms it. Indus beads and seals in Sumer, Sumerian goods in Harappa. Maritime trade stretched from Mesopotamia to India, in reed boats braving the seas. Trade was organized, focused on high-value goods: copper, tin, lapis lazuli. Sumer exported textiles and grain, transforming surplus into coveted products. Yet the story is one-sided. We can't read the Indus script, so half the conversation is lost. Still, Sumer's trade network was a web connecting distant worlds. Their reach shaped economies and cultures across continents. The first global economy began here. Sumer's influence was felt far beyond its rivers. The world was already connected. Our journey through Sumer leaves us with more questions than answers. And that's the mark of a true mystery. Their story is complex: origins, cities, writing, collapse, and trade, all intertwined. Each new discovery sharpens our picture, but the past remains elusive. The Sumerians faced challenges we still know today: environment, inequality, and globalization. Their triumphs and failures echo in our own world. The quest to understand them continues. Let's keep searching together.